Halloween for some people is one day, and for other people, it starts in August. The crazy people, much like you and I, we start maybe in July when we start seeing the Halloween merch hit the stores. But for one very special weekend in October, we have the Halloweekend. And that's what we're going to be talking about today.
The Halloweekend to me is the best time of the year. I start getting pumped for it probably in July when the first decorations start to come out, which is getting earlier and earlier just every year, which I'm a fan of. I start going, oh my God, the big weekend, it's coming. I can't wait.
I was thinking a lot about how the Halloweekend actually came to be. And I think it all started because one of our friends does not live in town.
Yeah.
So now we have to make sure that we do everything on one weekend so that we have time to do everything. One year, do you remember this? We did Oogie Boogie Bash, we did Horror Nights, and we did Knots.
Oh God, yes.
That was a terrible idea.
Yeah, it was. And I'd say most of those things weren't fun, especially by the end of the night. So you don't get any rest. You're waking up the next day, you're putting on a costume, you're going directly to the next thing, and you're just hoping that you can stay awake, all in the name of haunts and scares and, feeling like you're alive.
Now that I live in Northern California, I do have a newfound appreciation for the Halloweekend.
Hmm.
You really have to make your trip down south worth it. I'm packing up all my shit. I'm leaving my house at 4 a.m. I'm getting to your house around 7:30, right? I need to make sure that all of this effort, all of the pain, having a conversation with an Uber driver at 4 in the morning is worth it.
I don't think there's any situation in which having a conversation with an Uber driver at 4 a.m. is worth it. Also, for me, not as stressful because I don't have to go on a plane, but something that you need to know about me is that I'm not a clean person. I would not say that I am like a white glove dust person, but I have this phobia that if people come to my house and my house appears to be dirty, that I'm gonna die, and someone's literally gonna come to my door and shoot me because my house was not clean enough for my guests. So I always go through a whirlwind 2 to 3 day cleaning process before I know that someone's coming over, and it just makes me in the worst mood, and then I'm never rested by the time the Halloween weekend comes to be because I've literally been cleaning for 48 to, 50 hours before anyone even comes.
And I told Kristen, no one is checking your baseboards.
No.
We do not care.
No, but I still do it anyway. And then this year, just some background, I was in extreme emotional distress because I may or may not be getting kicked out of my house in 90 days. So TBD, we'll see how that goes. And usually I feel like one of us is in crisis during the Halloween weekend. It's usually something. We're usually having some sort of major life event because that's what happens. We're crazy. We're anxious all the time. And something is happening to one of us where we are more unwell than usual, I would say.
I was thinking about this episode of Bob's Burgers where Gene is talking about how Halloween is a lot of pressure because it's like New Year's Eve. You really are forced to have a good time.
Yeah.
And when we plan the Halloweekend, it is a very specific Alyssa itinerary. I get the notes app ready and I start spitballing the ideas. And before you know it, I add a few things here, I add a few things there.
And there
But
are also last minute additions, which are very stressful, but they become a dream that we all have simultaneously, and one that needs to happen. So even if the itinerary is just crammed full of just every minute is possibly taken, oh, all of a sudden, something else pops up. You see something, you see an ad on Instagram, you see a commercial, you see a TikTok, and all of a sudden it's, oh, can we, what time am I getting here? Can we squeeze in an hour to go and do something else, which I think is going to bring us into our next topic, which
well, hold
is
on a hot second.
I'm sorry, I didn't read the notes.
You didn't read the notes.
No, I did. I just skipped a line.
Kristen is the tech wizard.
No, I'm
She's
not.
the tech wizard.
No.
She's the tech wizard. She's the brains behind this whole podcast. But I will say, I love speech giving. And if I'm terrible, don't tell me to my face. But I do talking. And you know what? We got arguments, we got an intro, we got background stories, we got things to talk about.
Yeah.
You missed a line.
We did, and this is probably
This
gonna
is
be a long podcast anyway, so buckle in, buddies.
it's incredibly important that we start from the beginning.
Okay,
Number 1,
sorry. We'll go back.
thank you. Number 1, I leave my house at 4 AM.
Yeah.
My flight's at 6 AM. I am one of those very annoying people that insist on getting to the airport early. I have TSA PreCheck, but I also have travel anxiety, and I need to be on time.
I didn't know you had TSA PreCheck.
I do have TSA
So,
PreCheck.
literally, you could get there 20 minutes before and be fine.
I had to bring very specific items to this trip this weekend, and I needed to check a bag. Even though I was only here for 1 weekend, I had a lot of shit,
Yes.
so I
Well,
had to arrive early.
and what you need to know is that there is how many of us are at this weekend? There was a lot. There was, like, 5 to 6 girls at any point in time at one point at this trip, and 4 of them were at my house. So just imagine my living room just becomes like the worst girls' hotel room you've ever seen. It just explodes everywhere, which I'm fine for. But as we've talked about, I have obsessively cleaned for 48 hours before. And then everybody gets there, and within 10 minutes, it looks like a train wreck.
And it's interesting because at both my house and Kristen's house, we have a guest room where people sleep in. But no matter what happens, people always just put their suitcases on the living room floor,
Mhm.
and then we just throw shit out of the suitcase and we throw shit in the suitcase, and we have just accepted that's what the house is going to look like.
Yeah. So hopefully, no one ever is going to need to come over to one of our houses for an emergency repair while one of these weekends are happening, because they're going to think that we are just the grossest, rattiest rats that ever lived on the planet.
I think most girls are like this.
But it's funny because most girls are like this, but yet we yell at our men for being messy. Like, I get very upset when my husband does not wipe the top of the trash can when he's cleaning. You got to do this.
Yeah, but we're messy on special occasions. It's different.
We're just don't exist messy. We're just messy one weekend out of a month,
Exactly. The Halloweekend.
but not at our own homes.
So I arrive at Kristen's house. I take the Uber. Kristen and I have a long, hard day of work together because we did not take the weekend off or
Oh.
the Friday off. I arrive. Kristen's husband comes out to greet me. And I say, "Are we getting McDonald's for breakfast?"
And his
It,
answer is, I didn't know I was supposed to get McDonald's for breakfast. And then I made him go to McDonald's for breakfast.
although I said we can have it at any time.
Yeah, but, he was nice, and he immediately we have him trained pretty well for these weekends, I think, at this point. So, what he heard in his head is, "Oh, I must go get them McDonald's now." So he goes into the back of the house and gets on his little pants and his little shoes, and he comes and sits out in that living room. He's like, "Okay, when am I going?" And we hadn't even ordered yet. So, we were still deciding on the McDonald's while that poor man had to just sit on the couch and wait for us to get our shit together.
Because it was only 8 AM at that point.
Mhm.
He had 2.5 hours.
Yeah, but you gotta get it over with sooner rather than later, because then you can just come and sit down for the rest of the day. You get the girls set up at their McDonald's. Then you can go back in the turtle room and play your video games for the rest of the day. And hopefully you will only be bellowed for, I don't know, 3 more times in the next hour. And then you can have your day off too.
I didn't think you had many demands for Matt this weekend. I
No,
think that
I
was a good job.
I did not. I did really good. I think I left him alone. I only screamed for him a few times, and we only made him go to McDonald's once.
Because usually when I go to Kristen's house, she'll always yell, "Matt!"
And for context, we are always in the very front of the house, and the guest room, aka Matt's man cave, which is called the turtle room, is in the very back of the house down the hallway in no man's land. And so I literally am just yelling at the top of my lungs, "Matt!" And I have to do it. I have to do it 4 to 5 times because he doesn't hear me.
No,
Uh,
I think he hears. I just think he doesn't want to.
He just ignores. He just says, I'm in the middle of something right now. I'll get to these girls when I get to these girls." And half of the time, it's a demand. And then the other half of the time, it's a really awkward question that we call him out for, and we make him answer and make him uncomfortable and then tease him for the majority of the weekend about his answer. So I don't know why he participates in this at all.
But God bless him for doing it.
Yeah, he's
So the reason I had us backtrack in the story is because I wanted to tell people that we got McDonald's.
mhm.
That's not vital to the plot.
No,
Nobody needed to know.
nobody needed to know, but
But we fueled ourselves with McDonald's. We continued to work through the day.
yes,
And then we went to our very first activity.
at oh god, what time was it? I think we left the house at 5 p.m.? 5 p.m.
Actually, we did quite a bit more than our anticipated activity. I saw this advertisement on Instagram and I thought, I need this. I cannot live a life where I don't consume this.
Mhm.
Tell the kids what we had.
Oh, this is my part? Okay.
This is your part.
Okay. So we went to BJ's, which is I don't know if it's a national chain, but
It's gotta be.
it's gotta be. Because
It's an
everybody
American
knows. It's American.
establishment.
Yeah. Is everybody familiar with the regular Pazuki, which is a cookie with ice cream and all sorts of other delicious little warm toppings, and they bring it out to you in a skillet. And
It's fresh out of the
it's
microwave.
I was gonna say oven, but microwave, sure. For the Halloween season, they had a get ready for it, everyone, drum roll, ba, ba, da, spooky Pazuki, an irresistibly delicious cookies and cream cookie topped with Oreo crumbs, plus Halloween sprinkles, stacked with rich vanilla bean ice cream, served with a transforming, crackable chocolate topping. And may I mention that this vanilla ice cream was orange. So,
That's why we went. The
yeah.
orange ice cream.
I don't remember the crackle
I
topping.
Nothing crackled for me.
Yeah, I think they left that part out for us. I feel like I was robbed.
There's just something about an average item with a one slight color variation for the season that really does it for me.
Yeah, and some Halloween sprinkles.
Yeah.
And then also, am I doing this whole thing?
Yes,
Okay.
sure.
Okay.
Read it to me.
Sure. And then
Read me the
read me the notes.
read me
It's
the menu.
read me the menu. And then also paired with the spooky Pazuki, everybody, we have the Unlucky Ducky, which was a Halloween twist on the chain's Lucky Ducky drink, which, if you don't know, is literally a plastic tub full of alcohol with a little rubber ducky in it. And it's a mix of so many alcohols. It's a mix of Altos Plata tequila, a Malibu coconut rum, Absolute Mandarin vodka, Bull's peach schnapps, Bull's triple sec, Monin, Monin, sweet and sour, pineapple juice, Starry soda, which it was Sprite, had to rename it, and it's topped
R.I.P.
R.I.P. It's topped with a slice of lemon, a slice of lime, and a mini rubber ducky, which also had a little themed item with it. We did go online. We did search all these things. We did Google the menu and see what these items look like. So we discovered that sometimes they had a little witch hat toothpick. Sometimes they had a ghost. Sometimes they had a tombstone. It was just kind of what were you going to get? But they
Although
all were adorable.
can I complain?
Sure.
Because you and I both thought that this was a special duck
Yeah.
that had a plastic hat already on it.
Yeah, I was very disappointed because we all know that I love the souvenir. And I was going to buy this for $10 extra. You can buy the tub, which,
And I was like, bitch, are you gonna buy a BJ's bathtub?
yes, because I thought the duck was going to be wearing a witch hat. And I thought, I can put this in my bathroom because I just recently redid my bathroom and it has a very specific theme of skeletons and ghosts taking shits.
How does the witch hat duck tie into that
Because
motif?
there is also a skeleton in the tub. That was my first bathroom decor item that I bought several years ago. And I thought, then I can just perch this little duck like next to his little tub, or I could put it in his tub. There were so many possibilities for this non existent duck that I was going to pay $10 for.
The duck existed. It just didn't have a hat.
It didn't. And I feel like we were duped because if you look on the website, that duck looks like it's a devil duck because it is red with a witch hat. They lied.
Well, I think it was a little bit of strategic marketing on their point because it looks like it could be the hat, and then if you squint a little bit, you think it's not a hat.
When I market my stupid thing to the world, I'm not going to have deceptive marketing. I'm going to be like, here, you can buy this stupid souvenir thing and you can put it in your weird themed bathroom about skeletons who poop.
We also got the blueberry sour.
Mm.
I wanted my own alcoholic beverage because I thought, I don't want to share an alcohol, right? I can drink a lot. I'm a big girl. I'm 5'10". I can really put them away. And I want to feel something if I'm going to drink. I'm not drinking for the taste, especially not at a goddamn BJ's. So I got the blueberry sour, and Kristen read all those alcohols. I thought about it right now. I
Uh-huh.
don't want to, but you can read them
Oh,
if you want.
okay. So Alyssa's drink, the blueberry sour, consisted of a mix of Maker's Mark bourbon, Monin sweet and sour, Monin blood orange, Monin agave, blueberries, fresh lemon juice, and dried blood orange. And let me say, this drink did not have any accoutrement. I didn't have eyeballs. It didn't have a bat. This was just a drink with a scary name
I
to
drank
me.
that shit like water.
Yes, a drink that shit like water. Can I interject for a minute?
Yeah.
Have you ever had one of the BJ's tubs? Did you know how big they were ahead of time?
No, but I have had other alcoholic drinks in tubs.
Okay, so you had a size reference and still thought, I need another drink.
I had a theory, and I think it was almost correct that it wasn't gonna be that alcohol heavy. Because how much alcohol is actually gonna be in that tub versus how much of it is just Sprite?
I would say 90% Sprite.
I
Or I'm
finished
sorry,
my
Starry.
I finished my blueberry sour,
Mhm.
and then I saw Kristen had not made a real dent in the unlucky ducky. So I take my straw, put it in the tub, start drinking. I don't think I'm drunk, but by the end of the meal, I'm drunk at BJ's.
Yeah, I think by the end of the meal, we were both pretty drunk at the BJ's. And thank God Matt was there to drive us home because we were not well, which is usually how these weekends start. We think that we're doing fine. And then all of a sudden, woof, we need to be on a couch somewhere just resting. But unfortunately, that was only the pregame for that evening because we had other plans.
I need to make 2 more comments about the BJ's.
Sure.
Number 1, I just wanna point out that I'm from Bakersfield, California. I think I've mentioned that a few times. It is a land where nothing is going on. It is so boring. I go home and I appreciate it in a lot of ways. But when I was young, I'm talking like 21, 22, coming home from a weekend in college, I was always looking for the scene, something to do. And the Bakersfield BJ's was where it was at. That place was a nightclub. And it's because we had nothing else to do and nowhere else to go. But every time I go to a BJ's, it's always popping.
It is poppin'. When we got to that BJ's, it was an hour wait, and we got there early thinking like, "Oh," because we were also meeting another one of our friends who was coming down from Bakersfield, and we were like, "Oh, we're gonna go to the shopping center that is by my house I refer to as the Promised Land because it's got a TJ Maxx, it's got a Target, it's got a Ross, it's got a Kohl's, it's got an Ulta, it's got a Sephora, it's got many other things, and apparently it has a BJ's." So we thought, "Oh my god, we can use this time to walk around the promised land and do the second thing that we love the most, which is do a little shopping." So we left early thinking that we were just going to walk around and put our name in. And thank God someone had the foresight to say, "Oh, why don't we just put our name in and see how long the wait is and then we can walk around."
Were you complimenting yourself or who came up with that idea?
I don't know who came up with the idea. I'd like to say it was me, but could have been Matt.
I don't remember.
Sometimes he really is the brain of this operation.
What I learned this weekend is that BJ's is popping in every city. If you're looking for something to do and you got a BJ's, get your ass there.
Go to the BJ's. They'll probably have a seasonal drink, maybe get a duck in a tub, and it'll be 10% alcohol, but there's so much in that tub that if you're drinking it yourself, you're gonna be a little wasted.
I need to share with you my second thought.
Yes.
I don't know what BJ's stands for.
And neither do I. Should we Google it really quick?
Can you give me like a guess?
Oh, this is not right, but my my first thought was Bartles and James, and I don't even know
Oh,
what that is.
you threw an and in there.
Yeah. What
My first thought was Benjamin Jones.
okay, what does BJ stand for?
And how did he get such delicious pizza? BJ slaps.
What
We had a
does
great meal.
BJ's a restaurant stand for? Wait. The BJ's in BJ's restaurants refers to the original name of the restaurant, BJ Grunts. But that still doesn't explain to me what BJ was for.
Grunt or grump?
Grunts.
I don't like that.
The name was changed due to a trademark conflict with RJ Grunts a Chicago-based hamburger restaurant.
I gotta check the trademark website
Oh,
and
wait, wait,
and see what's going
oh,
on.
nope. Ask Reddit. Reddit says Betty Jane.
This BJ's doesn't give female to me. It gives male.
Yeah, it does.
I don't care how many decorative mirrors they have. That's not a woman's restaurant.
I'm loving this answer right here, which definitely is not right, but it is the top voted answer, and it says butt jiggler. That's what it's going to stand for in my brain now.
I'm
Butt
still
jiggler.
going with Benjamin Jones because
Okay,
I don't want to get clam chowder from a butt jiggler. It's
I do.
gross. I guarantee you, if some man walked up to you and said, "I'm Mr. Butt Jiggler," and he handed you soup, you would not accept it.
Just a man on the street, no. But if I'm going to an establishment called Butt Jigglers, I'm going to be eating the soup.
Like a strip club?
Sure, why not?
All right, so we go to BJ's. Our friend joins us. It's time for the actual event of the evening. BJ's was just one of those random ones I threw in.
Yeah,
But
that
our next event, it's a classic.
is it.
So I would say yes, we went to Delusion. And Delusion is an interesting Halloween event because you cannot take photos and videos inside of it. So it is very hard to find anything about it on social media other than the advertisement to go to Delusion.
Yeah. And the advertisement always looks great. Like they do a great job of taking like a spooky picture with some fog and like a out of focus, semi blurry, scary monster.
Yeah, it's usually downward, facing up at a building from like a skewed angle to
Yeah.
make it look odd.
Yeah. And it always has a real weird name. So the thing about Delusion is, and not only do you not get to take pictures or video, the story changes every year. So they're thinking about that repeatability. They're thinking about getting more people to buy tickets every year. So it's always like Delusion. And this year it was called The Red Castle, which is very intriguing to me because if it's got a weird name and then like a creepy picture and I can't find anything on the internet about it, I want to go.
We need to explain what delusion is because every time I go and I try to tell people about it, it's a little tough.
It is.
I would describe it as and this I didn't make this up. This is from the website.
Hmm.
An interactive horror play. Imagine if you will, you go in a group of about 10 to 12 people. You start at a scene, you're with your group. They give you basically instructions that says you interact with the group, but you don't really talk unless spoken to. And you can figure it out. You know when you're invited to participate. And then actors take you from one room to another and they start acting out different scenes and telling you the plot line to a story. And it isn't just like any play, it is a scary play. Things happen.
Things do happen. You're saying to yourself, this can't possibly be scary. An interactive horror play, this does not sound scary. I tell you, my first Delusion experience was last year. It was the scariest thing I have ever done in my entire life. I felt like I was going to shit my pants the entire time. I was so scared. So, when you think interactive horror play, I would like you to just think of maybe like you're in the horror movie. They can touch you if you let them.
They do touch
They
you.
do touch you. And you can participate, which is also crazy. Last year, they had a thing where they would approach you and invite you to participate. And you could be a chicken shit and you could put your arms over your chest to be like, no, not me. I was like, no, not me. This year, there was a change. There was no chicken shit now.
Although I imagine if you said no, you probably could say no.
You probably not.
We should
yet.
talk about the type of things you do in Delusion, right? It's an
Yes.
interactive story. So they're telling you some kind of narrative and you are acting it out. You are meeting all of the characters. You are helping progress the plot. I've been going to Delusion. This is my 4th year, I think. Every year, the plot doesn't make sense. I can't follow the storyline. I don't know any of the characters' names. Nothing makes sense. There's no consistency. Things just happen. And when you're in the moment in Delusion, you just think, I'm just going to roll with it.
Yeah.
I don't really care, right? Because you just want to be scared. You just want to have a good time. You want to see some interesting decor. You want to see some cool special effects. And that's what happens. I couldn't even tell you the plot of this, but I Googled it.
Oh, did you? Ooh,
Well, it's in the outline. That's you, Kristen.
me.
The
Us.
team.
The royal you.
The royal we. You will play the role of Dr. Frederick Lowell's most prized patients found sleepwalking of the grounds of Red Castle. Who the fuck is Dr. Frederick Lowell?
Yeah, and also this was the story that they gave us in the intro like the 5 seconds before you go inside, before anything spooky really happens.
Mhm.
So I knew this part, but I couldn't tell you what any of that description had to do with the rest of what happened to us in that building.
No, and it happens every year. Nothing makes fucking sense. And I'm not talking shit because I do think Delusion is one of the best Halloween events you can do, especially in Los Angeles. It is truly so fun and so creative and so interesting, and people are so talented who are in those houses. But the plot doesn't make any fucking sense.
No. And it's a very unique experience in contrast with like just going through a maze or a house. You're part of the show. You go off, you get taken in different places. They split you up and different people have different experiences. So overall, I had a good time. But yeah, I couldn't tell you what the plot is either. I just knew that we were in a church setting, maybe? That it was kind
We
of
were
it was
we were in a psych ward,
yeah, but
dog.
it was part of a church building, and there were religious aspects to it. So, it was very Catholic coded.
This is a new location for Delusion. I have been, like I said, 3 other times at the old location, much better. This year, absolutely the worst year that I've been. Still great, still a wonderful experience, and I think you should go,
Yeah.
but I do think it has gotten progressively less scary throughout these years that I've been.
It was scarier than last year because last year, that first part, I think we can talk about it because they're not gonna do it again. Last year, they locked us in a basement.
The second year I went, I remember thinking, "This is actually scary." The 3rd year, it was cool, fun stuff happened, but I wasn't scared. The 2nd year, I was concerned.
You were concerned. Okay, see,
I
I was
was.
concerned last year for myself, but I'm a big wussy. So I scare a little bit easier, or maybe it's the fact that, like, you use me as a shield in all of these things, which makes me more scared. So,
Always use the short people.
yeah, so maybe you're not as scared because I'm the one who's getting scared, because I'm the one who's getting pushed in front of you. I'm just gonna throw that in there for you to ponder on.
No, and I really do think sometimes you just need a person to save you. You're the person.
And unfortunately, that person is me or another short person.
Really, any short person will do. I just have so many options. And Kristen usually just doesn't know what's going on, so she's easy to grab and put in front of you.
I'm easy to just steer into a direction because usually, yeah, I'm like, "What? What's happening? What? I'm supposed to go over here? Okay, sure."
So we should talk a little bit about the weird things that you have the option to do. In Delusion, like I said, there's a weird plot line that doesn't make sense, but they find weird ways to have the participants do interesting little activities. The first year I went, I was called into a room and taught a few piano keys, and I played a little song for a demon by myself. That was interesting. Last year, we had one of our friends lay on a medical slab pretending to be a corpse. This year, I played the role of an old woman. I put a wig on and a cape.
I forgot about that. We took some people who hadn't done any haunts at all, and we were like, "Yeah, this is gonna be great for you. It's gonna be your great first outing." One of our friends had to, kiss a fake corpse, which I thought was interesting.
And it was a play within a play.
Yeah.
So in the play within a play, she was playing someone called the corpse fucker. Once again, how does this relate to the plot? I don't know.
We couldn't tell you. But from now on, this friend is the corpse fucker.
She's the corpse fucker.
God bless her.
Yeah, Delusion's a great time.
This year, they had you doing a lot of things where they would make somebody open a door, which I thought was suspenseful because 100% there's probably going to be something that's going to jump out at you. But sometimes there wasn't. You would just open a door and you would go into a room. But sometimes there would be some weird person who was like, ah, but in a much more nuanced way. It was usually someone because we were sleepwalkers. There was a lot of like sleepy men in what I would describe striped PJs that kind of look like they were the Sleepy Time Bears, but with some scary makeup on. Sleep.
Yeah, it's not scary. In the traditional Halloween mask, lots of gore, monster. It's normal people who got weird face painting on,
Yeah,
and they really rely on the special effects
yeah.
to give the horror.
Which last year I thought some of the special effects were great. This year, again, because they're at a new location, I would say I was not as blown away as I was last year. And I think possibly you may agree.
No, absolutely. Like I said, it's gotten worse every year. Maybe that's just because I've been a few times, I know what to expect, I don't know.
Or it could be that, I don't know, like maybe we're aging out of Halloween.
I'm aging out of Halloween for sure. I didn't want to.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
want to. I don't want it to happen. Someone's gotta wow us. Also, the organization to get into the event has also gotten worse. They make you sign a waiver to go in because they touch you and make you interact. And before, I think you had to sign the waiver, like, when you bought the tickets. And this time you were, like, signing the waiver electronically on your phone while some guy hovered over you and was like, "Did you sign your waiver? Did you sign your waiver? Everyone in your group's gotta sign your waiver before you can go in here. And this is the waiver line, and this is the ticket line, and this is the wristband." It was not well run, I would
I
say.
did not love the service.
No, I did not love the service. And last year, once you checked in, you did get to go in and wander the building, and you could go to an interactive bar type deal, and they had
Yeah,
wandering actors. And this year, they really didn't have any of that.
there was foreplay last year,
Yeah, there was. Is
not this year. Delusion, would you go again next year?
um
Let me answer first. No. I
no.
think I'm good. I think I'm good.
In a world where you are not with child and you're coming down here for another year,
Mhm.
are we going to go to Delusion? I would say yes.
I guess I would say yes. I really enjoy it. But I just feel like there's gotta be something else out there. Something you should know about the Halloweekend, my
Mhm.
friends. We repeat the same shit.
We do.
We keep going back. We keep having the same experiences. When we went to Salem this year, that was fun, something new.
Yeah.
But we really gotta branch out.
I think we do. We did a twofer last year. We did the Hollow Weekend down here, and then we separately went up to Alyssa and we did like another Halloween. We did an entire another Halloween week up in Northern California, which was delightful because we also did some really cool events up there. I would go to again, but maybe would fall into the same pattern. We've already done them. Maybe they were so scary because it was the first time that we had done it. Because it wasn't available to us down here. Maybe people in Southern California can give us, or even Northern California, can give us throw some suggestions out in the comments. What should we do next year?
We gotta take this show on the road.
Well, yeah, we
I
do.
wanna go to Jimmy Fallon's To Nightmare next year. If it's open, I don't know, maybe we go to New York.
Who's to say where I will be next year? Who knows? I would love to go to I know you've already been, but I would love to do like a Halloween New Orleans. I think that would be great.
Listen, I lived that life once. I'm ready to live something new. Let's go to Transylvania.
Ooh, okay. I can do that. Yeah.
Okay. We'll put that on the
The
vision board.
the vision board for 5 years from now. I don't know. Yeah, or even yeah, give us a US spooky heavy town we can go to. We want people touching us. We want people doing weird things.
I don't want people touching me.
Okay, fine. We don't want people touching us, but we want people giving us unique experiences. We want to be scared. We want to potentially shit our pants, but only slightly. Like I don't want to be doing no what was that? What is it? The McManny Mansion? The one that had
Oh,
no, I don't want any of that. We don't want torture shit. I don't want that. I just want a ghoul going,
no,
"Ooh."
I want no real danger.
Yeah, no, maybe feel like you're in danger a little bit, but to know that you're not. I don't want no one cutting my hair or spitting on me. Please and thank you.
We did do one new thing this year, and this is something that we had wanted to cross off our list for a long time, and I gotta be upfront, it's a pass for me for the next time.
Yes.
The gang got in the car, aired up Kristen's tires,
Yep.
and we hit Roger's Garden.
Yep. And this is a very special social media experience that is exclusive to the Southern California, I would say, crowd.
I would like to point out that Roger's Garden is located in Newport Beach, but
Mhm.
it is not a garden.
It is and not a garden, nor did I see a man named Rogers.
We didn't ask
That is true.
anyone's name. Roger's Garden seems to be a nursery type of place that has a seasonal decor, but a seasonal Halloween boutique. And we wanted to go because we always see the Instagram girls there taking cute pictures and their cute little goth outfits. And this year it was a witch theme, so we felt compelled to go.
Yes, because we felt like it would be a great follow up to the Salem trip. And this year, I'm all about the witch vibes. I may be taking a little bit of a journey into becoming a weird witch. I haven't decided yet, but we'll see.
So then you just had five girls dressed in odd Halloween outfits, variations of sorts. We didn't have a theme.
Yeah.
We were just ladies looking weird.
Yeah.
Taking pictures in a gift shop.
A very expensive gift shop because we know, again, I am here for a souvenir. I could not afford anything there. It was if something's over a hundo, I probably won't buy. No, that's not true. There were things that I was like, "Oh, I'd get this," and then I'd pick it up and I'd look at it and it'd be like $350.
Oh, no, this is a rich housewife shit.
Yeah, maybe someday in my what did you say one of the episodes ago, in your Elon Musk dreams?
Oh, my
Yeah.
Elon Musk life.
Yeah, so maybe in my Elon Musk life, I can get my decor from Rogers Gardens.
In addition to a beautiful Halloween store, they also had a Christmas store. And I'm in the Christmas spirit now. I'm ready.
I will never be in the Christmas spirit. I'm also grumpy about Christmas because I have to be out of my house in January. But so there's probably a 90% chance that there will be no Christmas decorations this year. That my house will just be in a state of constant Halloween until I have to pack it. So usually I'm pretty bah humbug, but this year I'm more bah humbug. So I did not want to be involved in the Christmas things, but they did have Mushroom Christmas, which was nice for me.
They had a lot of Christmas options. If you're rich, you can just have the most beautiful Christmas home. I just wanted to take this time to talk shit about Rogers Garden. Was it a cool place to go to? Yes,
Yes.
sure. Beautiful gift shop. Beautiful. Excellent decoration. We had some projections. We had a good soundtrack going on. Good lighting in most of the places. Bad for photos. Why we went.
Yeah.
People everywhere. Of course, it's a store.
It's a store.
We should have known.
There was also like a little I did enjoy this part, which was the like outside in the nursery area, they had a whole bunch of different pumpkins. And there were a lot of pumpkins that I had like never heard the names of. They were what you have the picture. What are they called? Like designer pumpkins, I think.
Designer pumpkins.
Designer pumpkins for all the rich people in Newport Beach.
Can you believe that?
But some of these pumpkins were amazing. And I thought to myself, in a world where I can plant a pumpkin in my backyard, I would like a weird designer pumpkin patch next year.
Let me just list some for you. We had the Casperita. That's my favorite.
Mhm,
The white popcorn,
mhm.
moonscape,
I liked that
pink
one.
pink princess, daybreak, fireball,
The Can you please read the fireball one again?
fireball.
Thank you.
You had the tycoon, the lull tiger stripe, LIL apostrophe, the sparkler, weeby little.
Was that my pumpkin? The wee bee little?
I can't. They all look the same. All of these pumpkins, beautiful pumpkins, right? Very slight variation. Some big, some tall, some have the little pimple, some don't. Most of them look the same. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Couldn't pick them up out of a lineup.
No, we couldn't. They had like a poster with the pictures and the names. And supposedly they were all there at the garden. We each tried to adopt a pumpkin and then go find that pumpkin to take a picture with, and it was actually really hard.
I never found the Casperita.
Yeah, I don't know if I found mine, but I took a picture with a pumpkin.
So we go to Rogers Garden, we take our photos, we do a walk. Shockingly, we're able to spend 2 hours there. I don't know how. We weren't doing anything.
No, because there's 5 girls and they all got to get a picture.
That's true.
That takes a lot of time. I think we always underestimate how long a photo shoot will take us.
I think it depends.
It depends on the amount of girls.
The amount of people, the amount of girls, the location. Are there outfit changes? Do we need a TikTok, an accompanying TikTok?
Yeah. How much do we care? Is it a one and done? Do we feel like this is a production? How good are we looking? Feel good about
Rogers
ourselves.
Garden, for the girls out there taking TikTok pictures, I think you can go somewhere better.
Yeah, just a pumpkin patch. So,
But Rogers Garden, worth one trip for us, not one trip for a normal person.
yeah. And if you're an Instagram girly, maybe worth a trip for you.
So we followed up our Rogers Garden experience with a trip to a fine dining establishment, the Taco Bell.
Yeah.
And it's not just any Taco Bell, it's the Taco Bell on the Pacific Coast Highway. To get to that Taco Bell, you drive right next to, this is not important, but everybody clocked it, the former President Trump merchandise store.
Yeah, I didn't know that he had an actual official store. But if it was going to be anywhere, it would have been in the rich people beach.
As we were sitting in the Taco Bell, I looked at all of us, right? It's all girls, early 30s, and you. And then
Triggered.
I'm just saying, I looked around at us and I mention our ages because we're clearly not teenagers. And I think we are too old to be dressed this fucking stupid and sitting in a fast food dining restaurant.
This is true, but we're going to continue to do it. I know the next bullet point is, are we too old for this? My answer is yes. My brain answer is yes. My heart answer is, I don't think so.
I think we're just the right age for the drive-through.
Yeah. But I got,
For the to-go app, sure.
but I want to, the thing is, you want to eat at every age, you want to look cute. Or
In a
that,
Taco Bell?
not in a Taco Bell, just in general, and in a stupid outfit. And part of, I think, looking cute sometimes is just having to be out in public in a stupid outfit because it's cute.
I'm 32 goth in a Taco Bell.
You had on a full brooch.
That's too much.
That sometimes when I think about how stupid I look in an area, I think to myself, maybe I'm bringing someone joy. They're looking at me and they're going, look at this stupid girl. Because sometimes I'm out in public and I see someone in a dumb outfit. And I think to myself, wow, good for them. And it makes me have a moment of appreciation for my own life.
There's something charming about girlhood and off-putting about womanhood. And I didn't come up with that. This is what society has done to me. We're too fucking old for this. And I know there's going to be someone in the comment that's telling me age is just a number. And that's true.
That is
But
true.
society has already made these decisions for us.
That is true.
If
Yeah.
I'm going to be goth, I have to do it in a weird Victorian bar now. I can't just be at the Taco Bell anymore. Or at least
No.
I can do it in the drive-thru.
From now on, we can't go into the establishment dressed in the weird outfit. We have to go to the drive-thru.
Or if we do go in, we have to immediately exit. We order at the counter, we depart.
And we eat it in the car. Or maybe in this case, we could have gone to the beach.
Goths at the beach eating Taco Bell?
Oh, I would have
That
loved.
sounds okay. That's an adult activity.
Yeah. I see nothing wrong with this plan.
The Goths go, we finish our Taco Bell, we drive home, and then we immediately have to get ready to go to our next event, Cinespia. I am a huge Cinespia fan. I started going in law school, haven't stopped going ever since. Love it, obsessed with it. What is Cinespia, you ask? Easy. You go sit and watch a movie at the Hollywood Forever Cemetery. And it's not just any movies. They're usually cool movies. They're hip movies. This is a crowd that is interesting.
The cemetery itself, this isn't just like your flat gravestones. This is a pretty beautiful historic cemetery. There's some famous people buried there. Toto famously is there. One of the Ramones.
Not the band. She's talking about the dog.
Oh, I'm talking about the dog from The Wizard of Oz, everybody. I'm sorry. I'm talking about the dog Toto. Is Judy Garland there too?
I don't know, but Marilyn Monroe's there. Hugh Hefner's there. Famously
Yeah.
buried below her.
Really?
Yeah.
I had no idea about this. I gotta Google it later. Yeah, so there's a lot of famous people there, and it's beautiful. There's a weird pyramid tombstone. There's a lake, or a mausoleum, I guess it would be. There's some reflecting pools. Even just if you're a person who loves just to go look at a weird graveyard, they put it on your list.
And as beautiful as Hollywood Forever is, it is a fucking nightmare to get ready for Cinespia, to get a spot for Cinespia, to park at Cinespia, to leave Cinespia.
Yeah, pretty much like everything we do, the prep for the thing is awful. And getting there is awful because normally we're going to an LA establishment. And as we've discussed in the past, LA driving sucks. LA parking sucks. Getting in and out, making that uncontrolled left turn sucks. The traffic sucks.
I'm glad you didn't drive. That's all I'm going to say.
Are you? Because we almost died on the way home. And that was not
Yeah,
my
but
fault.
less death than usual.
I'm a competent driver.
No, you are, but LA driving is a different game.
It is a different game.
It is a fight for survival. It is a different skill set. There's a different rule. It's not what you learn at the driving school.
No. I hate LA driving so much that I literally have a reoccurring nightmare about me driving in LA and dying. And I've had it since the first time I drove in LA. I have it about once a year, usually around the time that we do the Halloween activities.
See, but look, we made it. Our friend drove. She got us there.
Yeah.
She's also a questionable driver. If she's listening, sorry. Friend is driving through San Francisco. I've seen her parallel park on a hill on Haight and Ashbury, so she's amazing when she needs to be. But I'm still scared for my life.
Sometimes isn't that all girls driving.
But you have to get to Cinespia about an hour before they open the gates. So that means you have to leave the house an hour before they open the gates so you can park. So if this event starts at 5:30, we are leaving the house at 3:30. And because I know how slow our crew works, we have to leave at 3.
Yes.
But what was going to be an evening activity has now turned our situation.
It is a 10-hour situation. You can bring your own food in. So we're bringing in our own food. We're getting pizza. Also, people dress up for this event. So because we're us and we're dumb, we're in full on costumes. We're putting on wigs. We're putting on stupid outfits. We're putting on fake freckles. We're doing the most for just sitting at a cemetery and watching a movie being projected onto a wall.
Yeah, so you sit down basically in the middle of a grass field. They project a movie. They have really cool DJs that kind of mirror the vibe of the movie. We were seeing Coraline, so it's dreamy, odd, weird girl. A lot of people wear costumes, and when I say a lot of people, I want to say under 10%. I truly don't think this is a huge costume event. I think we're just fucking weird.
It depends on the movie, because I remember when we went to The Wizard of Oz, there was a lot of fucking Dorothys. When we went to Pee Wee Herman, however, not a lot of Pee Wees. So I think it
It's
kind of
true.
depends.
It's probably whatever movies have the easiest costumes to attain.
Yeah. Yeah. You just got to have a blue wig.
3 out of the 9 people had blue wigs.
Yes. And a lot of us had button eyes.
I
And
think
by
only you and Matt had button eyes. I don't know if a lot of us is accurate.
okay, I saw a lot of people wearing the button eye sunglasses at the event. And so when I say us, it is the royal us.
I see the button eye us.
Mhm.
Kristen did special order a Coraline welcome home cake from
I
Walmart.
did.
Excellent cake.
I don't know if we've mentioned this before. Shout out to Walmart. Shout out to Walmart's cake people. Sponsor us. They have come in clutch on several cakes for us, and they've all been good.
2 cakes.
2 cakes. Look, it's more with my cake history, two cakes is a win. But both times, I think we thought that the cake was going to be awful, and it was cute, it was good, it was cheap. I paid under $20 for this beautiful custom cake, and it was delicious.
By the time I ate the cake, I had probably had about 3 glasses of rosé, and that cake was some of the best cake I'd ever had.
I ate the rest of that cake just the other day, and it still slapped. So I will say, even not under the influence, it was still a great cake. A plus would recommend.
So back to the preparation for Cinespia. So obviously we can't go and not make content because we're fucking insufferable. So we go to Cinespia. We set up our blankets, right? And there's a lot of us, so we need multiple blankets. I'm also very particular about where I sit at cemetery screenings, right? Not this doesn't just
Doesn't just
this is
pertain to
not
movies.
oh no.
It's also cemetery movies.
But no, I can't reserve a cemetery seat until I'm rich. So for now, I just got to make sure I get there very early. We go, we haul ass. Everybody has an assignment. Some people are holding the blankets, some people are holding the food. We are charging to the area that we want, and we get it. We get the spot. We are in the middle. They said it couldn't be done, but we did it.
We did it. Well, it's because you had several people who were just quick. And then I know my role at Cinespia is to just be slow, and you can leave me behind and I'll catch up later. If there's someone quicker in the group, great. That's their job. My job is to just hold stuff and I'll get there eventually. Thankfully, there were more people. But in an event where it is just me and Alyssa, I am forced to also be fast, and I hate it.
We had 3 people on what we designated Team Blanket who was able to go and get the spot.
Bless Team Blanket. Bless.
So Team Blanket got the spot. Team Food held the pizzas, the cookies, the cake, and we were ready to go. We sat down, we got all of our stuff ready to go, and then we had to go get in line for the Cinespia photo booth. It's a really important part of the Cinespia experience.
It is.
There is a very professional looking setting that you take a photo in. It is always themed to the movie. Some photos are better than others.
Mm-hmm.
Some are terrible. But this year they had the Dream Blue Tunnel that goes into the other house.
That part of the Cinespia experience is after the movie. And even before the movie, like while you're waiting, they'll put those photo booth pictures up. And if you look really good in that photo booth, you get in the first few photos. Who, may you ask, was number 3 after the movie was done? Oh, that was me and my husband. And we never take a good picture. So I'm so proud of this moment. I will talk about it for years to come.
I think this is going to really offend some of our listeners, and by 2 in particular who did not get their photos on the wall.
But usually that's me. Usually I'm the one who doesn't get my photo on the wall. So let me have my moment. Let me
Listen, you
just
can have
have
your
this
moment.
one
You
moment.
can have your moment. Okay. The Cinespia photo booth, too, is obviously a professional looking photo, and it's usually gorgeous and looks very cool. I don't really know how to describe it because I'm not a professional set builder. But you only get 2 shots. You stand there, they do 1 pose, 2 poses, maybe 3 if you're lucky,
You're done. You're out of there.
and you get what you get.
What you
It's too
get.
much pressure. I think it's always beautiful, but I do not like waiting for them in line. I truly dislike it.
Yes, and I will agree. And again, as someone who is not good at posing and who needs to have 90 pictures to maybe look semi-passable in one, this is an anxiety-inducing event. When it's just me and Alyssa, I'm like, how am I going to pose? What are we going to do? I need you to tell me if this looks good because I'm just terrified.
I know we're practicing poses in line. Who's gonna stand where? What am I gonna do? Does my dress look good this way? It's and I'm like, what does it matter?
What does it matter?
I know it's not gonna look that great.
Yeah. We buy one of the pictures every time, even if it's awful. I think out of the several times we've been, we've never taken a good picture together.
No, they're never that good. And I always buy them because I'm like, whatever, it's for the memories. It's me and my friends doing a fun thing. I put the one of me and Jenny on the wall. It's already on the frame.
It's already in the frame. Matt, he loves that picture. He was looking at it today and he was like, we did a real good job. And I said,
Wow.
wow. And he's never really interested in the picture. Like you guys go to the photo booth. This year, I made him go. And he likes it. So I think if we had a wall, we would put it up.
Cinespia, it's cold. You need to bring a blanket. The first time you go is the worst time you'll ever go to Cinespia because you don't know that it's always going to be wet. The moisture from the ground seeps up. You don't know how uncomfortable it is.
It's
You don't
so
know that you need a
moist.
wine opener. There are just all these things you don't think about until you've been so many times that you think, "Oh, I'm gonna need an extra pair of socks."
Yeah, you're gonna need silverware. You're gonna need napkins. You're gonna need a drink. If you're old like me, you are gonna need a pillow. You're gonna need a special blanket. Thankfully, because I've been with a veteran, Alyssa told me right away, you got to get a blanket with is it aluminum?
Plastic on the
Like the
bottom.
plastic on the bottom. And even with that special blanket, I like to call it the cemetery goo. The cemetery goop just comes up. It just rises up and it just makes everything just so moist, so damp. It's truly awful. But one of the best things you'll do.
Cinespia is usually held during the summertime. It's usually a summertime activity, but they do have 4 Halloween showings in October. They're always cold, right? Even in the summertime, they're cold. But in the October season, it is actually cold. So I was unhappy at one point. I knew I should have brought more.
Also, I knew too, and at the last minute, I forgot that I needed a blanket. So I made Matt go in the house, get a blanket. And he just got one blanket because he didn't know. So Matt and I were sharing a blanket. And at some point, I was inebriated and I was just tired. And I've seen Coraline. And this is also something that happens a lot at Cinespia. You just at some point, you just decide that you're tired and you want to take a little nappy nap. So at some point, I just laid down, closed my eyes, and I rolled over and I took the blanket from Matt and I tucked myself in. And I let that poor man freeze for probably the last hour of the movie. And God bless him because he just let me.
Matt,
Matt, give me the blanket. And I woke up and I said, oh, how nice of you. Let me have the blanket. And he said, I did not let you have it. You took it. You literally wrestled it away from me by force and you burritoed yourself and took a little nap. And I couldn't fight back.
but it's uncomfortable. It's got a lot of downsides, right? It takes a lot of preparation. You're cold. You got to bring a lot of shit. You got to drive through Hollywood to get there, but absolutely worth it. And I've been going for years. I'll probably go forever if I can. Go to Cinespia.
Yeah.
At least pick a movie you love.
Yeah, yeah. There's a Little Caesars that's right by there. Pro tip, order yourself some Little Caesars. Get it? They don't give you silverware or plates apparently anymore.
No, they don't. They took that away from me.
Thankfully, I had the foresight to bring silverware and napkins. Didn't bring an extra blanket for my spouse, but I did bring silverware for everyone. So that was good of me.
We gotta move on. We've been talking we're going pretty long, but we gotta bring up the next thing we did. We went to Goodfellas Cafe on Sunday morning.
Yes.
This is not important to the Halloween
No,
lineup.
no.
It's not. It is a cafe that is Italian mobster themed.
And every time we get off the freeway, we see it. And one of our friends especially goes, "We gotta go there." Another one of Alyssa's things is that she won't eat at an establishment that on Yelp does not have a 4.5 or higher.
No, I don't trust Yelp. I only go by Google
Oh,
reviews.
Google reviews. Okay.
Yelp is not even real to me. It does not exist.
Okay. So it's a Google review only. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Respect me.
RIP. But thankfully, this establishment was it a 4.9?
I think it was a 4.6.
Oof. Which is good
It
for
it made it, yeah.
yeah. And so we've been talking about going to the Goodfellas for quite some time, but because we always have a very packed itinerary, it's never happened. But this time we said we're going to go to the Goodfellas. And we did. We went. We did it. We did
We
it.
thought it was gonna be like a Denny's walk-in divey diner. This place had a wait.
Yeah.
People were there seemingly after church.
Yeah. This was the one day we allowed ourselves to wake up late. So I think we were there at 9 or 10 a.m.
Dog, we were there at noon.
Oh, were we?
Because earlier that day, we had a few episodes of 4 Weddings to watch.
Oh, that's right. Oh, I want to watch. I'm going to watch that after we're done with this. It's going to be my nighttime TV.
Just an aside, I hate weddings.
Oh, we all hate weddings, and two of us are married. When we've had our own weddings, and we still hate them.
I eloped. I said, "Sorry, everybody." Or "You're welcome." I'm not sure. But we had to go to Goodfellas. Was the food good? Would I return? Sure.
Yeah, I think this can be one of our go-to weird places when we're not going to the BJ's for a themed Pazuki. Maybe we can explore more of the Goodfellas menu.
Is there a Christmas Pazuki?
Good question. Do I need to Google it?
A Mariuki?
Okay.
No, we can wait.
Or should we wait for the Christmas roundup?
I think we gotta wait until it finds me organically on social media.
Okay. Okay.
Because maybe there's like a Chili's we can go to for the Christmas season.
Oh
Like
yeah.
an eggnog margarita.
Ooh, there is a Chili's in the Promised Land, so that's something that we can do. Do
We
you
gotta
have a
go to
Chili's?
Chili's.
Because I believe I'm coming to you for the Christmas season.
We have a Chili's.
That was it?
I've never been. No, I've never. It's by a home good, so we can try to go there.
Oh.
We go to the Goodfellas Cafe. And then it's time for our final event of the weekend.
Our final boss.
On the way there, we stop for McDonald's because we have to. We get medium Cokes.
Mm-hmm.
And Kristen insists that she has to stop at Walmart to get a nose plug.
Yeah, I did.
It turned out
It didn't work. So Knott's Scary Farm, Universal Studios did it last year too. In addition to having scare actors and lighting cues and spooky music, they have started doing something which I refer to as smell-o-vision, which they'll have a bad smell when you go into a room. So say, I think it was was it the Texas Chainsaw Massacre at Universal Studios? You walked into it and it was supposed to smell like rotting flesh and it was like a weird smell. I very famously have a very bad sense of smell. But for whatever reason, the smell-o-vision in the mazes, it just gets me. Last year, when we went through a specific maze at Knott's where I knew they were going to do it again, it almost made me throw up. And so I decided I need a nose plug because I physically plugged my nose last year and the smell still got in me. So I decided I needed a nose plug. Alyssa brings earplugs because these things are famously loud. So I'm not going to be shamed for needing a nose plug. I'm going to say this was a specialty purchase for me. It did not work, but my intentions were good.
I feel comfortable shaming you because the actors in the house are also wearing earplugs. Nobody's wearing a nose plug. And also, we're not going swimming. It's odd.
Look, I just needed it for that one maze because I had such a visceral I had a bad reaction to it last year.
I
This
just think you can have plugged your nose if you wanted.
I did. I plugged my nose dog. It still got up in there.
We didn't tell everybody where we were going, but we did. We went to Not Scary
Went to
Farm.
Knott's Scary Farm. Got my Knott's Scary Farm. This was part of my merch. I stole it from Matt. This was his t-shirt, but now it's mine.
We were trying to decide if we were gonna go to Knott's or Universal this year, and I gotta say, I really didn't care. I
Mhm.
said, "We're going to one haunt, everybody pick where we go."
I was really on the Knott's train because last year we went to both of them. You guys famously went to Orlando, but then I went with one of our other friends' solo event to Universal. And I thought it was okay, but we both agreed that it wasn't great. And then this year when they announced the mazes, none of them really tickled my fancy. And I was just like, and Universal is also more expensive. It is further. It is more horrible to get to. And it is usually more disorganized. And so I was really on the Knott's train. I was really rooting for them. It's like our local haunt. I wanted it to be great.
We're gonna get into this right now.
Get into it.
Knott's was bad, but it made me think, I wish we had gone to Universal. I fucking love the Weekend House.
The Weekend House was great, I will say.
We coulda gone again.
I've seen people's reviews of Universal too that said Universal sucked. Is it just Hans? Are Hans bad now?
We're
Are
too old.
no.
We're aging out. We're aging out of Halloween.
Maybe. I don't know. But also, what are our problems with Knott's?
I think the biggest problem you and I faced is that nothing was happening.
Nothing was happening. There were no actors anywhere,
There were no actors in the houses.
and very few scare actors outside. And did I tell you, I went to Reddit afterwards, and people on Reddit were talking about it. So it wasn't just us.
We went on a Sunday night, and I know it's the end of the weekend, the actors are tired,
I don't care. Give
but
me a
Jesus
show.
Christ, right? What are we paying for?
We buy the rich people pass for these because we ain't got no time. We want to go in all the houses.
I'm literally going one time the whole season. I'm gonna go in every
We're
house.
going to go in every house. We're going to do everything.
Although we were so disappointed at this point.
Yeah,
We
were.
thought Kristen said, "Can we go home?"
Can we go home? When can
We
we
had
leave?
when can we leave? We only had 4 houses left. She was ready to
I
quit.
was ready to go. I was so ready to go. I was so disappointed. Yeah, it was bad. No one was scaring us. I will say they have a crazy carnival show with like a
Circus freaks.
circus freaks, and a male acrobat or aerialist when usually it's like a lady. This man was very intense and he won me over by the end. Also, they had Universal Studios used to have the Jabberwockies at Halloween, and then they ripped down the theater to put in the Fast and Furious ride. And the year that we went to Universal, we sat because again, we had the rich people pass at Universal too. We sat in like the VIP section for the Jabberwockies right by the stage. And these Jabberwockies, man, and I was on the end of the row because no one else wanted to be, so I was closest to the stage. These Jabberwockies they were flirting with me, and I was there with my husband. And these Jabberwockies, I could have gotten pregnant from just how sexual some of these Jabberwockies were. And I felt like the dancers in the carnival show were like the Jabberwockies from Universal who got laid off. And there was one especially that they put in front who I thought was very sexy, and he did some things to me. And I am not scared
I
to
mean,
admit it.
he didn't physically do things to her.
No,
Just emotionally, there
emotionally.
might have been an eye connection.
Well, but I'm saying he made me feel some kind of way. And I thought I'd fuck that skeleton, like in his makeup. That could be a weird thing for me.
Oh, whoa. There are children.
There are no children listening to this.
There are children.
There are no children. I'm just saying, he made me feel some kind of way, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. And if you're out there, I don't know if you know who you are, but thank you.
No, he probably knows.
He knows. He
I think he's
knows.
probably your height, right? He looks like a little guy. Yeah, that was a highlight, seeing the Circus Freaks. We
Yeah.
had never sat down and watched it.
Yeah, I would say if you're at Knott's and you need a little resty rest, go pop a squat and watch the carnival, watch the hot skeleton man.
Tell tell the kids about how much you loved the Elvira show.
It wasn't a show. So, one of the things is Knott's Scary Farm has, like, a history with Elvira. She used to host a show, a Halloween show, famously has had a lot of branding with Knott's. So, she's been retired. I think her last show at Knott's was, I don't know, like 5, 10 years ago, probably like pre-COVID. And so they announced this year that they were gonna bring an Elvira experience to Knott's. And I was like, "Oh, great." And I knew that it probably wasn't going to be Elvira, but I thought we were gonna get, like, an Elvira impersonator, like, coming out,
Like a drag queen?
like a drag queen. Like, I thought we were gonna have a fun, like, kooky show with an impersonator and some songs and maybe the hits, the Elvira hits. I don't know what they are, but hitting on some of her big things.
I don't know a damn thing about Elvira.
I know that she's got big old tatas.
But what does she do?
So she's the Lady Crypt Keeper. She hosted a late night show where she was the host and she would show a scary movie. And then she would do, back in the day, when there were commercials, she would be like the intro and outro to a commercial and she would say a funny thing or a sexy thing or
So
whatever.
not quite a talent.
Not quite a talent, but big titties, looking sexy,
Okay. That's a talent.
saying some funny stuff, being risque. Okay, we're going to get a show. This thing is not a show. It's just a room you walk into. And it's got some memorabilia. And apparently she came and signed some autographs a few nights out of the Scary Farm. It was the shittiest thing. And they made us put our drinks away. Like, one of our friends that we went with has the drink you can use and get free refills all year long. She's such a champ. She's always getting us a Diet Coke. They made us put our thing down and we had to walk away from it. So it could have gotten stolen. Someone could have,
Nobody wants your cup.
maybe they did. But
Nobody
anyway,
wants your cup.
it's stupid. It was just stupid.
What if you spilled Diet Coke on the Elvira pinball machine?
Then charge me for it. But no one's spilling Coke at the Elvira pinball machine because no one's staying long enough to spill a Coke. You're
That's
walking
true.
in, you're going, "What the hell is this?" And you're walking out.
Before we went to Not Scary Farm, Kristen was telling me that she wanted the Elvira shirt from
Mhm.
the show. And I said, bitch, there's not a show.
And I
There's
was
no show.
so sad. I still got the shirt, everybody, just in case you're wondering.
The mazes, unremarkable. No actors. Even the new mazes.
Even
terrible.
the new mazes and mazes that people were like, "Oh my God, these are great." We were like, "These mazes are dumb."
I think I like the concept of a spider house.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot of walking through for one object.
Yeah. And the finale wasn't that great. I don't know. Maybe if it were staffed, it would have been wonderful. But it was not staffed. I will say this every time. Bring back Paranormal Inc., you cowards. Best maze ever.
I had seen a YouTube video where someone said it takes 8 minutes to walk through Widow.
That did not.
We were flying through that
We
thing
were
because there was
flying.
nothing to look at and there were no people in there to scare us.
It was weird because simultaneously they were running too many people through the mazes, so they weren't staggering groups. So if you did manage to get scared, like by an actor, it was literally just them, like where they put their hand in front of you and be like, "Ah," which I'm paying top dollar here. I don't want just to be like Alyssa can do that to me from the back and I can get scared, which by the way, she does frequently.
I didn't do it once this
You
year.
didn't. And I was like,
I did
because we were that disappointed.
underwhelmed.
Normally, Alyssa likes to do a little extra scare in the scaring because it makes her feel great. And she likes to see us be more scared than we already are. This year,
Just you.
didn't even care. Didn't even care.
My heart wasn't in knots this year.
No.
Made me really wish I was with the weekend.
I got to see my band. So it's true. The log ride, inside the log ride, there is a 5 seconds where you are plummeting through this log ride very fast, where there's a little band that is made up of Halloween monsters. It's got a vampire, got a werewolf, it's got an alien. I think it's got a Bigfoot. They play a little tune for you. And if it's the same band that is Billy Hill and the Hillbillies who got kicked out of Disneyland. And I love them.
I appreciate how much you like this band. But that log ride is so fast. You see that maybe
You
for
do.
half a second.
You do.
Your log is flying.
It is. It is always flying. But I love it. And then there's also a bear in there that says, "Happy Halloween," as you're going by. And that also, it just tickles me every year.
The bear is scary.
The
That's
bear
probably the scariest thing that happened this year.
was the bear. You know, Knots, you disappointed me. I wanted to have so much love in my heart, but I didn't.
Next year, if I go to a haunt, if something happens where I'm in the haunt market, no, it's gonna be Universal.
Yeah, I will say I think we're gonna be at Universal next year, and we're just gonna pay more. We're gonna pay more money to be rich.
At least at Universal. I know it's boring because the people step on a pedal, a loud noise comes out, a monster shows up, exactly when it's gonna happen, right? At least I know they're consistently gonna have an actor there. I can't say the same for
We were going through mazes, and you can tell where there's supposed to be like an actor, all empty. Last year we also saw just like a monster randomly texting his girlfriend. We assume
well,
it was his
we don't
girlfriend.
know it's his girlfriend.
But you could just tell that he was texting somebody that he was having a tough time with, because just not only was he texting on the stage where everyone could see him, but just he looks so defeated. And we made up this narrative in our mind that he was having a fight with his significant other, and he could not. It was one of those texts where he's, "Honey, I'm at work. I can't talk about this right now. I got to scare these people." The significant other was just like, "No, we need to talk about this right now or I'm going to leave you."
Because I think he was cheating.
You think so?
Absolutely.
Okay.
This man,
This monster,
uh,
this monster
there
man.
was he was an alien because it was in the depths,
It
I
was.
think.
Yeah.
Wait, is the depths the outer space one?
No, the depths was the underwater one. I don't remember what it was, but
It
it
was
was
the
like
outer space.
it was like the alien-esque one.
Anyway, I would rather see a man texting than nobody.
I'll agree. I'm not gonna not agree with you. Knots. You
Not
really
s but it's crazy because it's been so good in the
it's
past.
been so good.
I I've been wowed by Knots.
Same.
Not this year.
Not this year.
Would you believe us if we told you only 2 sliders came up to us this year?
Only 2, and we tried really hard. I should say Alyssa did us all a service, and she put her tatas out there and also her butt cheeks so that the scare actors would come to us, and they did not.
Didn't work.
Didn't work.
It's because we're old.
It is.
They're like, "We gotta go for the teenagers,
Yeah.
get a real reaction."
But we scream.
We do scream.
We scream and we jump and, like, I think we give great reactions. I guess
Not
the
good
overall
enough.
theme of this is, are we too old for Halloween? And I guess the answer is, again, sadly, yes.
I think maybe we just start looking for a new Halloween.
Yeah.
I think we've outgrown the Halloween activities that we usually rely on.
Yeah. And I think it's going at a pace where nothing is really, they only have a couple new houses every year. We've seen them. We've been to them. It's time. We're going to put a call to action out for everybody. Where's all the good houses? Where's the good Halloween?
Put me on a plane. I'll go somewhere new.
Yeah. I'll think about it. I famously don't like planes.
We're on the way to Transylvania next year.
That is true. Oh God. I can't put my fangs to good use. Everybody, I bought a pair of specialty fangs from a costume shop last year. Or maybe even the year before. I don't know. They were very hard to get to fit because you had to that kind you have to melt wax to fit your actual teeth. I wear them now every chance I get for a Halloween event for at least a picture.
I was
So
gonna say, it did not last long this
no,
year.
they don't last because you can't eat with them in, and then they do start to hurt because you're biting your lip with sharp, pointy fangs. Unless you're a real vampire and you can have retractable fangs, do not recommend. But they're cute for pictures and walking around for the first 10 minutes, where I inevitably sit there and I hiss at everybody.
And she has a lisp.
You do. You really do have a lisp. You have a retainer lisp. So it's not cute. I think we did it.
That was the Halloweekend. Hey, it's a bummer. And you and I, we live for Halloween.
We do.
We love this shit.
We do.
We eat it up. My favorite activity this year that we've done together, obviously Salem. But is it because it was new? Is it because we went out and did something out of our comfort zone?
Probably.
I think so.
And
yeah.
also, because they had the Salem, it was metal. They just didn't hold back. They knew what they were. They had scary wax figures and they said, "We love the devil and witches." And I said, "Please, sir, give me some more."
The things I would repeat next year, Cinespia, obviously. I'm going to throw Goodfellas
Yeah.
on there.
Yeah. 'Cause
Maybe that's a new Halloween tradition. We
Yeah.
go to the Mob Cafe.
Go to the Mob Cafe that has no theming whatsoever to Halloween, not a Halloween decoration to be seen.
I would skip Roger's Garden. I would maybe go to Delusion.
Yeah, maybe.
It's hard to say. I don't know. Next year, I think we're gonna come up with something better. Something bigger, something better.
Yeah.
Because this year, we already knocked Universal off the list. We already knocked Oogie Boogie Bash off the list, thankfully.
Yeah.
No need to go to Oogie Boogie again.
Not until you have child.
No, not until I have a child. And even then, I might leave him at home.
Yeah, one and done. They're not gonna know the
Well,
difference.
No, I'm gonna have a good time. But the Halloween weekend, next year is gonna be better. I
Yeah.
can feel it.
Yeah.
There's gonna be more, something different. When can we leave?
When can we leave? Subscribe.